to three levels of leadership. Level one is managing yourself. As I always say, leadership begins from within. You cannot stabilize others if you yourself feel overwhelmed. And some of the practical strategies that I find helpful are, first is to limit or restrict the constant exposure to media and news. Second is to identify when that monster shows up, identify those catastrophizing thoughts, and then redirect them to something constructive that you enjoy doing, be it reading, be it writing, journaling, or perhaps talking to a friend whom you trust. Because neuroscience shows that our thoughts shape our emotions and our emotions shape our actions. Another tactic that I find helpful is to focus our attention to what is actually working. Because in times like this, our mind drifts towards things that do not work. So intentionally bringing our attention back to things that are working and focus on what is within our control, within our sphere of influence. And of course, practicing gratitude for the things that we have, for the people around us, for the support we are getting, counting our blessings. Because remember, the discipline of redirecting your attention towards what is helpful, what is working, is a very helpful skill to maintain that emotional balance. The second leadership level is supporting your people. During times like this, people don't just need instructions. What they really need is psychological safety. So some of the practical tips that I find helpful is to acknowledge the emotions that people are going through, be it fear, stress, anxiety, nervousness, worry. Instead of dismissing them, have those personal check-ins and daily connects at a very personal level. And the third thing is transparent and frequent communication. Communication about what do we know, what we don't know, or perhaps what we want to do next, and help in rebuilding that optimism, the trust, and help them focus on hope over hopelessness, calm over panic, and help them focus on doing some meaningful work that will help them connect to their purpose. Sometimes during this time, the most helpful act is to just tell people, we can do this together. We will face whatever the situation is together as a whole. Because resilience sometimes is about not only about bouncing back, but about managing this fear, managing these emotions, and then bouncing back stronger. Acknowledging that uncertainty is more powerful than perhaps predicting that certainty, especially during these times. The third leadership level is about building resilient systems. Resilience cannot just depend on an individual. Organizations must build that resilience by building for disruption, by designing for disruptions. And so look at the entire value chain and identify the weakest links, where your systems are most vulnerable, where the systems are most likely to break, and then plan for redundancies. Where can you plan redundancies across your value chain? Maybe in your operations, maybe in your communications, maybe in your decision making. Another helpful strategy for organizational resilience is to scenario plan and prepare for different futures, considering different permutations and combinations, variables that are relevant for your organization, for your industry, considering the macroeconomic factors, the microeconomic factors, the geopolitical factors, your industry factors or variables that are relevant for your industry, regulations, and then consider consider scenarios when things might go bad, consider scenarios when things might improve, and then decide on what must you protect, what must you plan for. Think of probably plan for different flexible work structures or probably distributed decision making? Where can you build resilience in your systems? Because resilience in an organization means not depending upon a single point of failure, but building for that disruption.